Hi, I'm Dala, and today we're putting this thing into that thing. Let's go! Flattering hose. Okay, so now it is in. We now have two mounts holding it in. It's the rear transmission mount and the front left transmission mount. So now we just have to manufacture some new mounts. One here and one down there that will connect everything. But yeah, massive accomplishment. And as you can see here, there's quite the room for activities compared to when our SR engine was mounted here. So yeah, this thing looks tiny here. But yeah, we will now crack on with making the engine mounts. So just for shits and giggles, we mounted the power distribution module on top. And yeah, I don't really think it's gonna fit. We're gonna have to do a massive hood scoop in order to run it like this. But thankfully it's quite easy to relocate this box. We can maybe just yeah, pop it off here and instead place it down here and just run some extension wires to the yeah, high voltage lines. So yeah, but now we will remove this and continue with making the engine mounts. So we noticed an issue. We couldn't get the motor far enough down, and here is the cross member, and you can see that it hit here in the middle. So we remove the cross member and we're gonna be trimming off some of this plate. It's actually, or we think that it is this piece here that is hitting. So thankfully we made it a bit oversized so we can remove some material and try again. So out with the angle grinder. Success! Ouch, hot! Yeah, so we removed this bit and now we can fit the cross member again. So yeah, this is what it looks like now. So, cross member on! Okay, so luckily this front mount came quite close to the gearbox, so we're just gonna be welding this piece together with this adapter, and that will take care of this front one. So yeah, let's bring out the welder. Okay, so now I'm done welding, and it's usually my uncle who does the welding, but he left. So yeah, I've now tacked it quite crudely into place, but we can then, when we remove everything again, we can weld some more on the other side and add some more metal to it there. But yeah, now that mount is done. The only remaining mount now is this one. So yeah, we will construct something that connects the motor to this mount. Let's see. Okay, here's some progress. I took some metal and chopped it up into tiny pieces and threaded in these bolts, and now I am going to weld this all together, and this will serve as the first piece towards joining these two. So yeah, wish me luck. Okay, so I've now tacked this piece into place, and I've now also got a piece of angle iron that is fastened down here with 2 M12 bolts, and it was getting really hard to do some CAD assisted drawing, this cardboard design, so we have switched to wood. Maybe it will even be enough with this wood piece. The motor simply weighs 57 kilograms. But yeah, this wooden piece helped us get the angles needed, which we then could transfer over to this metal piece instead. So yeah, now to just tack everything into place. Okay, so we now completed this motor mount, and yeah, it looks pretty wild. We're gonna be welding it up even further now and splashing some paint on it. But yeah, this is done and it will be way overkill. This is much more than what's needed. But yeah, nice. Okay, so now that the mounts are done, we are gonna focus again on this motor. So we took it out and we're now installing some additional bracing, because most of you commented that you thought it looked kind of weak. So we're just bending some metal pieces and hammering them in, and then we're gonna be welding this up. So yeah, we'll continue with this. Okay, so now we have the additional bracing installed and tacked into place. We will maybe weld this a bit more if we take this apart later on. But now we will shift focus and install this axle bracket or carrier bearing, whatever it's called. The axle has this part that spins, this one. So it needs to be attached to the motor, and thankfully there are 3 bolts here. So we just quickly took some measurements on these bolts and we will fabricate more brackets. This build is just brackets. But yeah, let's continue with that. So the power of editing brings us to this stage. We have now, we are test fitting with some thick pieces, and there is an additional bolt down here that we could use. So now we're just thinking about how to triangulate this best, because this mount is quite crucial. Okay, so we've been thinking about this for quite some time, and we just welded in another piece to sturdy this up. And the idea is that there is some slope in this axle, like up and down and side to side. But the side to side we will handle with installing additional pieces of metal in between, so that takes care of the side to side. But for now we're just gonna be taking our best guess and checking max up and down, and then marking out. We're gonna switch this around and we're gonna drill some holes and tap this back section. And yeah, it sounds complicated, but yeah, that's what we're gonna aim for. Let's see if we succeed. Okay, so several days have passed and we have had to iterate a bit on this, but now we have a solution that works. We faced some issues with the axle completely binding up when we tightened any bolts, and we have been trying to adjust this in every possible angle. But in the end we settled for some shims spacers set up here. So it's basically just a threaded rod and some bolts so that we can adjust it in every axis. Oh, and as a hidden thing, we initially had the axle pushed in all the way into the gearbox, but this wasn't how it was supposed to be. There was supposed to be some millimeters of clearance there, so yeah, that was fun finding that out. But yeah, now we're pretty happy with this, so we're just gonna be adding Loctite to every single bolt and maybe painting this a bit so to make it a bit nicer. But this is how we're gonna run it in the car. And voila, the motor is back in, and check this out. Now we have all the mounts in place. So starting with this mount, I have painted it and it is looking beefy and very nice. And then we have the front one fully welded in. This one is like it was before. And now also here in the back we have the axle carrier bracket, and yeah, everything is attached and nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop the axles in, but I have some upgrades planned. Oops, you weren't supposed to see all that. But I have some upgrades planned that I'm going to be doing to the suspension now right away, because the front is very high compared to the rear, because we have taken away a lot of weight in the front. So yeah, in the next episode we will tackle that. Oh, and I will also maybe need to do some episode on the motor management, because I know that a lot of you have been asking about that. So it's coming, I just haven't gotten around to doing it because there's so much fabrication that needs to be done here. But yeah, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching, and hit that like button, share, subscribe, do whatever, it helps the channel out if you like this build. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue with making the next video. Thank you, bye.